We're back to the Neil Haley Show here on the Total Celebrity segment, and I'm excited to welcome the program Candice Maxwell from Madea's Homecoming, going to be coming on Netflix very soon this week. How are you? And thanks for stopping by.
I am great. Thank you for having me, Neil. It's so nice to meet you.
It's nice to meet you as well. So let's talk about really quickly when you got this opportunity, how amazing when you got the opportunity to audition for this. Because again, we all love Madea to the point,
Yes.
and just anything Tyler Perry, come on now. Your reaction had to be so huge when you got the audition, but then once you got the role.
Oh, Neil, it was amazing. And the funny thing is that I did not audition. This was a direct offer from the studio head at Tyler Perry Studios. I had previously worked with them filming All the Queen's Men. I played DJ Dime. And from my work on All the Queen's Men, I was connected at the studio and I got a phone call on a Saturday morning. And it was from Michelle Sneed. And she said, "Hey, Candice, we would like to offer you a role in Madea, Ellie, as Madea's granddaughter. Are you available?" And I was like, yeah, I'm available. Like, is your schedule open? And I'm like, I will drop everything to be there, to be a part of the Madea franchise.
So before that, you worked with Tyler Perry. What was your experience working with Tyler before getting this opportunity for this movie?
Well, I was working with Tyler on a television show that he executive produces called All the Queen's Men. That's on BET Plus. So working with him on a TV show, it's very fast paced because we're filming a lot of episodes in a short amount of time. So you don't really get as much one-on-one time with him. But filming this movie was so immersive because I got to not only work with Tyler as a director, but also as a co-star and a character. So I felt like I got to work with him and learn him in a gentler way. Because, you know, Madea is a badass. I don't know if I can say that, but
yes,
she's also a sweetheart, you know, and she's my grandmother in the film. So I got to get to know another side of Tyler, which was nice.
So which side of Tyler do you like working with most? See, I'm going to throw you right in there. What do you like? You rather being on camera with him or off, or it's just different experience?
I love on camera Tyler. He's so unpredictable and free, and you know, like he'll just throw things at you. He's an improv king, so he can have the whole room, the crew, the cast laughing and cracking up, and then, you know, bring it back serious and get right back to work. So he's just great to work with on camera and as a director, and he pulls a lot out of his talent.
And especially he's wearing almost doing both when he's on camera too. So it's pretty interesting how he's able to take the intense level, which we all are, but specifically when we're trying to get a production together and everything, and then bam, okay, now he's acting. And then you get the funny part and you're like, wow. And so that's the amazing thing of his growth process, Candice, when you think about specifically enough where he came from as an actor to growing this empire. And definitely, I'm sure everyone that works with him learns so much. Do you feel he's a kind of person that you really can learn from in the process of working with him? Because some people, you know, they stay to themselves. But I think from what I've talked to other people that have been on BET shows and different things, they've just told me he just is an amazing leader and teacher.
An amazing leader and an amazing teacher. I fully agree. And it's through example. It's through just being in his vicinity and watching how he moves and watching how everybody that he works with, it's excellence always, you know, like we care about every hair, every line, every clothing detail. You know, we're so detail oriented and efficient, and just watching him work it's like magical to see everything come together. So I will say that it's magical. And I mean, one little tidbit is that we pray every morning before we start filming. And regardless of your religion or spiritual background, I think that's a great way that we start the day, is everybody's on the same page. We're going in with great intentions, and we just want to make the audience laugh and connect.
All right, so tell me the premise of the movie without giving it away, just like your role, as you've kind of talked a little bit about, and specifically the movie and what to expect.
Yes. So I play Ellie, Medea's granddaughter in a Medea homecoming. And it centers around, of course, Medea and her iconic home. So her great grandson is coming home for his college graduation. And while you're there, some family secrets and drama unfolds. So you'll get to see all of that when it comes out on Netflix. And that's the 25th.
And so the drama, there's always going to be
Yes.
drama, right? With
It's
Medea?
family. It's family. And
It's
I mean,
family.
yeah, I think with anybody, whether Medea or not, regardless of race or religion or creed, we can all relate to a family drama, and the layers of love that and the dynamics there. And that's what's so entertaining is watching the family dynamic and then Tyler bringing in social justice issues into the film, and without making it too heavy because we were all dealing with 2020, 2021, this pandemic and politics and all of these heavy things. And Tyler just wanted to talk about serious issues, but in through comedy. And I think that's one of the best outlets we have to talk about serious issues is comedy.
Yes, comedy is the best to kind of get us from our hard days and challenging days to just laugh. And that's
Yeah.
what I love about comedy is just laughing. Now, is this your first experience in a comedy or where you're in more comedy, or is this something we're going to see more of you?
So this is my first feature film. So not only is that exciting, but to be a part of an iconic film and an iconic franchise is even more exciting. But comedy specifically, I would love to do more. It's something that I never thought that I could do, but Tyler trusted me to come into this world and he gave me the opportunity to improv and to try things outside of my comfort zone. And that's what I really appreciate the most is getting an opportunity to grow as an actress. So I would love to do more comedy. And it's kind of exciting to do that because I'm like, oh, I'm such a serious actress, but people want to laugh and we want to feel good. So I'm excited to tap more into that market.
And being the granddaughter, you got to be in the next movie, right? Hopefully, that right. You have to write you in the next movie because there's no
I would love
franchise is
to.
not ending. It's not good. It's going for a lot longer. So now you're at least part of the family. So that's got to
Mhm.
feel great. And I think that as I've heard interviewing other people that have worked with Tyler Perry, ultimately it's a family. When you go on this set, it's a family. It's you have to have a family atmosphere. And a lot of how he, puts his movies and how he portrays them and gives certain storylines always goes back to family at the end.
Yes. I completely agree with that. It always goes back to family. And that's the environment that I've been able to feel at Tyler Perry Studios as a working actress. I've been able to feel this sense of I'm coming home when I come to work there. I feel comfortable, I feel confident, and it has given me so much ease and reassurance. And I'm ready to grow more, within the industry. But to call Tyler Perry Studios my home and the place where I started my career is for me, it just holds a special place in my heart.
And what do you want to say to all the Tyler Perry fans, especially Medea's homecoming, Medea fans, about you being part of the new family? Meaning now you're going to be welcomed. What are they going to think of you without giving anything away? And say hello to them, because that's the big thing. You're doing all these interviews to say hello before the 25th. Then
Yes.
you're part of the family.
I know. Well, one, they're gonna love Ellie. When I was reading that character, and when I got the phone call and they told me a little bit about Ellie, they said she's the younger sister, but she's mischievous and she's fun and she has a heart of gold, but she's got a point of view. So Ellie is just a bright little light. She stands for her family, she stands for her community, but she's Medea's granddaughter. So she's got a little sass, she's got a little attitude, and she's not afraid to say what she needs to say when it's
All right.
time.
That's a great
Yeah.
way to introduce. And where can people follow you and stuff? Where so that people can see.
Oh, yes. So across my Instagram and my Twitter, it's both at Candace Maxwell. Candace, CandaceMaxwell_. So they can follow me on Instagram and on Twitter.
Now, are there other projects you can tell us about right now, or are they just in the works and you can't say yet coming up for you?
Oh yeah, I got something good. So we just wrapped on season 2 of All the Queen's Men, which fans can check out now on BET Plus. So you can check out season 1, and season 2 will be coming very soon. And a side note, Tyler did direct the first 10 episodes of season 2, so you guys will be able to see more of the collaboration, you know, that I'm having with Tyler, and the work that we're creating together. But the show is going to just knock everybody's socks off. So if you haven't seen season 1 yet, go check it out so you can be ready for season 2.
So
Neil, you too, Neil.
Okay, I will. And then all the different things I have to catch up on for sure. Now,
Yeah.
as an actor, what are your goals? Like, where do you see yourself? What do you want to grow to? Like, what goals and aspirations do you have? Always ask specific questions like that, because that's the thing. We always have to raise the bar to go to the next level. And where are we going next? This is such a great opportunity, but now you have to take that to the next level. What are you thinking?
Absolutely. I couldn't agree more, Neil. I came into this business and this career, one, just pure. I love acting. I love being on the stage. I'm a New York City theater kid, so I grew up doing theater, but I see myself working with the best of the best, and building my acting repertoire, dramas, comedies, sitcoms, theater. I would love to work in the theater again in New York City. Give me the Emmy, give me the Grammy, give me the Oscar, give me the Tony. I want to do it all.
So you just said Grammy, so do you sing?
Oh, honey, yes, absolutely. I want to do it all. And I'm here to do the work, you know. I want to create iconic films and stories and characters that people can relate to and live vicariously through.
I love it. Your energy, and you have those goals, and keep manifesting them, and it's going to happen for sure. And we appreciate again you stopping by, and everyone needs to check out Madea's Homecoming, February 25th, only exclusively on Netflix. Appreciate
on Netflix.
Netflix. That gets you excited, right? Netflix. Now that's the house. You know, everyone is going to watch this. I'm sure you're telling everyone, and then wait to where you're going to get recognized even more once you get into something like Netflix. Be ready.
It's a global audience, and Madea, we are ready. We are so ready. So
I'll be tuning in on February 25th as well. Take care, and thanks for stopping by.
You're sitting on your butt, watching TV, and you're surfing for something good. Just grab your remote and follow me to Bethel Park TV. BPTV, BPTV. It's at Comcast 7, Verizon 32, and even on YouTube. Made by Bethel Park residents, it's a little slice of heaven, 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 heaven. Be sure to visit BPTV, BPTV. Be sure to visit BPTV, Bethel Park TV.
Can you tell me where you were on Tuesday night at 7 o'clock?
No. Can you tell me where it was at 7 p.m. on Tuesday?
What if I told you I can? What if I told you I know exactly where you are every Tuesday night at 7 o'clock?
Every Tuesday night? Why would I be doing the same thing every Tuesday night?
Maybe because you like pizza.
What are you getting at?
We have your fingerprints all over the switcher in the control room. I can smell the olive oil's pizza on your breath. I think you know exactly what I'm getting at.
You can't prove anything.
We have eyewitnesses that can place you at the scene. You might as well just come clean.
Okay, I admit it. I help broadcast Pittsburgh Sportsline Live every Tuesday night at 7 on BPTV.
I know you do, Anthony. Because I'm there too.
What?
because I'm the VIP.
So check out the VIP, Al Levine, the Talking Machine, and the rest of the lively crew on Pittsburgh Sportsline every Tuesday night at 7 o'clock on BPTV.
Okay.
We're back here to the Neil Haley Show, and my co-host Juan Aliman of the 80s Hours with me. Juan, how are you? And we're going to have a great guest today.
Yes. Hi, Neil. I'm doing fine. I'm excited to be talking to this person. They are a blues rock singer, songwriter, has been active since the 80s. And we're talking about Deborah Bonham. Good morning, Deborah. How are you today?
I'm great. Thank you, Juan. Thank you very much for having me on the show.
Absolutely, Deborah. We're excited to have you. And Juan has some amazing questions. So go ahead, Juan.
All right. Deborah, now one of the things that I noticed is that, of course, you know, one of the things, as soon as somebody looks at your name, they say Bonham.
Yeah.
That Bonham, right?
Yeah.
Now, you are the younger sister of John Bonham, of course, of Led Zeppelin fame.
Yeah.
And you were encouraged to get into music by, was it Robert Plant that encouraged you?
No, I hustled him. That's a bit more. Yeah, I mean, he sort of pointed me in the right direction and told me to get out on the stage and pay my dues, really. And I did go around with my nephew Jason and, you know, ring him up and say, can we come round to your studio? But yeah, I mean, yeah, he was great. He pointed me in the right direction, let's say.
What did John think when you told him you want to be a musician? What was his
Well, you know, I was still at school. So John was, I don't think he would have really entertained the idea. I remember telling him once when I was about 16, 15, that I wanted to be a singer. And he just looked at me with dread, you know, that sort of, not my kid sister in this industry, you know. I think he thought I was going to be a vet or a lawyer or something. So, so I stayed on at school, and I was still at school when he passed away, unfortunately. I stayed on at school. But I was already, you know, I was doing music anyway. But I think now that I've come through it all and all these years have passed by, he would have. I'm sure he would have got up and played with us. You know, we like the same music. All the music I loved, I got from him, really. So, yeah.
That's beautiful. Now, you've toured with the likes of Van Halen, Alana Miles, Foreigner, Paul Rogers. Who were some of your favorites when you were touring to share the stage with?
That's just such an unfair question. I mean, I'm not going to tell you. I'm not going to tell you. They were all great. I mean, Van Halen, no, I just got up with them at a launch of their album, actually. I was in the audience, and Peter Bullock, our guitarist, and my husband, went over to see them and told Sammy Hagar that John Bonham's kid sister was in the audience. And I'd actually gone to the ladies' toilets, and I just heard him shout out, you know, Deborah Bonham's here, come on, get up and sing. And I was like, oh my good grief. And we did rock and roll Led Zeppelin, and I didn't let Eddie Van Halen do a guitar solo. He was bent down in front of me on his knees at one point going, let me do the solo. And every time I looked at him, I went, oh my God, it's Eddie Van Halen. And I just kept it singing. So yeah, I was a bit uncool. But out of the other, I mean, oh yeah, I've been blessed, you know, I've played with, I've been on stage with some of the greatest, you know, including Robert Plant, Paul Rogers, you know, I got up with Peter Frampton and Humble Pie, and Pete, our guitarist out of the Bonham Bullock Band, has played with Paul Rogers. He's backed him on tour, you know, he stepped up as in the sort of not in the Paul Kossoff taking over, but when Paul Rodgers wanted to do his free music, Pete got the job. And so, yeah, we've been really blessed. And all of them, I mean, I've never met anybody who's not been generous and beautiful, you know. So, and I honestly mean that. I think the only one that Pete played with, and I haven't, is Van Morrison, who was a bit sticky.
Oh, okay.
Just sort of looked at Pete, you know, and gave him this look. But they're both Belfast guys, you know, they're both Northern Irish. So what do you expect?
And that learning experience that you went through in this process, who do you think you learned from the most in your career?
Who did I learn from the most?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I mean, I would definitely say both my brothers for the amount of music, and my parents for the amount of music that I was exposed to. You know, I listened to some of the greats, and so I learned so much from them, and then from John, and I guess it would be Robert, and you know, I mean, we're very close, so I've always watched him and watched his career since Led Zeppelin, which has been phenomenal. But Paul Rodgers, and I mean, all these guys, Steve Marriott, Ann Peebles, I had the joy of playing with Ann Peebles. And I think all of these people, they mean it. You know, there's no halfway house with these guys. When they go on stage, they mean it. And it's from the heart, and it's from the soul. And that's something that I've learned, you know. If you're going to go out there and do it, you better do it like you mean it.
Wow. That's I think it's really important that artists who express themselves like that, who write their music, who perform their music, do push forward and say, you know, if you're going to go out there, give it your all.
Oh yeah. I mean, if you don't believe it, you haven't got a hope in hell of convincing anybody else. So you've really got to mean what you're doing and believe in what you're doing, you know. I mean, it takes time and it takes guts, and you know, you've got to stick with it. If you really do believe what you're doing, you'll convince other people.
Oh wow. Now, coming up, what do you have coming up? I think in April you have an album coming up.
Yeah, this new album, Bon and Bullock, and it's an album, 13 tracks of some obscure and some classic covers. I decided that it was time to do like a project rooted in the blues of some of the great songs that I absolutely love. And I wanted to do it as Bon and Bullock and not as just Deborah Bonham Band, because we've been a band for so long, and it is such a butt-kicking live band, and it really is a great band. Peter Bullock's an amazing guitarist, and I didn't want people to think, oh, it's just a girl singer with an acoustic guitar, because we're anything but that, you know. So I just thought now's the time, you know, at this late stage, it was like, no, I want it to be Bon and Bullock. So we've made this album. I produced it. It's out on Quarter Valley Records, which is a fantastic Grammy Award-winning independent label in California that have just been so supportive and let us be what we want to be musically. I think that was the main thing about Bruce Corto and Mike Card and Nina Miller, whose brother's Buddy Miller, by the way. And so, yeah, the album comes out April 29th, and we're really excited about it. Really, really excited.
It sounds like you're very excited about it, and it's just something that, you know, anytime an album comes out, what do you do in preparing for it? You do interviews like today. What other things do you do to try to get that album out there? Or do you yourself?
Yeah, I mean, we've done a couple of shows already, and we've been playing the new material. And it's gone down a storm, and that's been exciting in itself. You know, after the pandemic, being able to get out on stage and then play new material, it's just been great. I'd forgotten how much I really missed it until I saw the guys. We're pretty much like family. We've been together for so long, and well, Pete's my husband, so he is family, I suppose. You know, yeah, that's what we're doing. We're just getting out there, playing the stuff, and doing interviews like today, as you say. And yeah, it's exciting. It's great that it's exciting, because it's been such a wretched couple of years, hasn't it, for everyone? And there's so much bad news around all the time. I just feel like, I just desperately want to get out and play, and just play, and go and see live bands as well. That's what I want to go and do, and listen to great music, and try and get back to where we were, you know, before wars broke out and pandemics, you know. So.
Now, being with a band as long as you have been, as far as like together, it's funny that you mentioned it's like family. You know, Pete, of course, is your husband, but the band as a core, how long has it been since '85? The core.
I've known Ian, the bass player, since then. Yes, you know, we were. In fact, we were even younger than that. Ian and I were in our teens. Ian Rowley on bass. So we've been together years and years. And then I met Pete in 1990, and we immediately joined a band, formed a band together. And then the keyboard player's been 23 years, and the drummer is a new guy. He's 14 years. He's
That's the new guy.
And he played, the drummer, Richard Newman, his dad is Tony Newman. He was with Sounds Incorporated and David Bowie as a drummer. Wow. And Richard played in his own right. He's an amazing drummer, and he played with Steve Marriott and Rory Gallagher. So he joined us, and and here we still are. You know, through thick and thin, we've managed to keep going, and it's been great. You know, and not seeing them during the pandemic was tough.
Mm-hmm. And getting them back together. So what keeps the success of not breaking up the band? I guess your husband is one reason, but what about?
No, they just do what I tell them to do. They don't argue. Oh, I'd like to say that. Honestly, I must be dreaming because they argue. No, I think because we all respect each other, you know. We respect our talents. I mean, everyone in their own right are great players and great people. And so we can have a fight, you know, we can argue, and, you know, 10 minutes, half an hour later, we're best mates again. So it's sort of, it's a bit like brothers and family, yeah.
I think that's important, especially in the dynamic of a band. And I listened to several of your songs, and you guys sound great.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
I listened to some of the live stuff, and wow, the way you command an audience. How long does it take, as far as for confidence, for you to stand in front of an audience and be able to command them like that?
Do you know, I don't know. I think as you get older and you naturally become more confident in what you're doing. Mm-hmm. Certainly in the very early days, I probably wasn't like that, but I had great teachers. You know, I watched Aretha Franklin, I watched Janis Joplin, I watched Paul Rodgers and Robert Plant and Steve Marriott and Otis Redding, and I watched all these great people perform, and you know, again, you've just got to mean it, because if you don't, nobody's going to believe you. So I guess it's just been years of constantly watching these guys and seeing that how they got lost in the moment. If you watch Janis, she's completely in the zone, you know, when she's singing. Oh, yes. And that's important. And for that, you need a great band, because before I met Pete and we got our band together, in maybe some other bands earlier on, if I didn't feel it on the stage, then it's, you know, I'm not very good at pretending, you know, it's got to move, the music's got to move me. And sometimes I've been on the stage with this band, with Bon and Bullock, and and I forgot to sing because I'm so grooving away to what they're doing, you know, and I'm absolutely loving what they're doing. And I'm thinking, oh my God, you know, I'm going to sing, you know.
I'm not here as a fan today. I'm here to sing.
yeah. I just want to, quite often I think, oh, I just want to go and watch you guys, which I got the pleasure of doing when Paul Rodgers took them to back him. And it was fantastic, you know, watching what they could do.
And that and commanding that audience, it just got to feel right? It's what you do, it's what you love, and the more you do it, the more you understand your audience, the more you understand how to command people's attention, and it doesn't happen overnight. So for young musicians out there, what do you think is the first thing they really need to look at when they're performing?
Well, I would just say what I've said really is they've got to believe what they're doing. They've got to believe in what they're actually doing and love the music that they're trying to put across. Because I think if you're on stage and you're loving it, and an audience can see that you're loving it, and and you're loving it, the band playing it, and the music that you're doing, people pick up on that vibe. Mm-hmm. And then once people start to pick up on that vibe, then you can reach out to them, you know, you can do that. That it does take, it's a stagecraft, and sometimes it takes a while to know that somebody is picking up on what you're playing, but you can see it in the audience faces sometimes, you know. I try not to look too much. I'm just getting into the moment myself and enjoying us on stage. But I can see somebody's face, and you can just see that they're getting it. And when that happens, you're like, yeah, you know, and I think that's really all you can do. You've just got to really love it on the stage yourself and love the music that you're performing. Yeah.
In support of the album coming up, do you have any North American tour dates?
No, not yet. We're desperately waiting to see how things are going to open up, and we haven't got an agent over there yet. So we're sort of saying to everybody, you know, if you love what you hear, bring us over. we'll come. We're desperate to get out there. So that's what we're doing at the moment, trying to see how it's going to open up and finding the right agents to bring us out there.
Biggest crowd, there you go. So I was going to ask you, biggest crowd you've ever played in front of?
Wow. I'm just trying to think. I would probably think it was the Stars Align US tour in 2018. That was scary because it was big amphitheaters. Paul Rodgers was playing, Jeff Beck and Ann Wilson, and I was opening up. And my band, the Bonham Bullet Band, were playing with Paul Rodgers. So I went on, just my voice, and my old friend from when we were teens, Ian Hatton, who was in a band with my nephew Jason Bonham for a while, called Bonham, and had some great success in America. But I asked him if he'd come and play guitar for me, you know, for this tour. And he said, yeah, sure. And he said, what are we going to do? And I said, just me singing and you playing guitar. And he said, oh, yeah, what sort of venues? And I went, well, they're sort of amphitheaters. So he walked out with his guitar with mega stage. And there's just us two little dots and just surrounded by, you know, people. And it worked. It worked. They were so fantastic to us. We had standing ovations and people cheering, and it was really great. So, yeah, can't wait to get back out there.
Now, as far as music that you like to listen to,
yeah,
I do an 80s show.
Okay.
So what are some of your favorite 80s artists? And you don't have to say, oh, this is my favorite. I'm not going to put you on the spot, but what is some of the kind of music that if you had a jukebox, you would play at home, 80s?
From the 80s?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I can tell you straight away, one of the 80s bands that I absolutely loved is a band called Talk Talk. I don't know how big they were over in the States, but I absolutely loved Talk Talk. Mark Hollis, the singer, songwriters, they were fantastic. Colour of Spring, their album. They would be my 80s band, I think. Yeah, I mean, if I was at home playing other You know, if I'm just playing music, I tend to be a little bit earlier, 60s and 70s, really.
Okay.
So I'm a big Little Feat fan. I love Little Feat. I love I love American rock as well. I love Boston and all those bands. So, you know, I can be seen sometimes screaming my head off to More Than a Feeling more than once. You know, Bob Seger, the whole lot, it all comes out if we're having a little party or something, you know. And I love all the Motown, the Spinners, you know, Rubber Band Man, and I love the OJs, all of that. So Four Tops. So that's my sort of Crosby, Stills and Nash. I mean, I've got a complete eclectic mix of music.
That's fantastic. I have a question on Led Zeppelin, because again, I saw the documentary that was on, I think it was on Reels. Yeah. Do you feel the way the band is remembered, especially, you know, because of your brother and everything, is remembered in the right way, Zeppelin, or you think it's sometimes they're misunderstood?
I think it's the right way, you know, for the majority of time. I mean, I think people get so hung up about the hedonistic lifestyle and what Zeppelin were all about. And I think people love to think that they were these, you know, these warriors going out there, goodness knows what. But actually, it's all about the music. And for me, that's Led Zeppelin. It's, I think all the other stuff gets a bit tiresome, but musically, I just don't think they're just the most phenomenal band. I mean, it was a total privilege growing up with that music. The most unbelievable band. I mean, it changed my world when I first saw them, and I was very young when I first saw them play. And the otherworldliness about them, the way they captured an audience from the minute they walked on stage, you know, all four of them, people just had their mouths open, you know. It was like, oh my goodness, what is this? And you were instantly transported somewhere else, you know. You were in this world. Anything could have been going on outside,
exactly.
But you were in this place watching Led Zeppelin, and you were just away on another planet. So yeah, I'd like to think that that's what they'll be remembered for. You certainly.
Okay. I definitely remember them for the music. I grew up listening to bands like Led Zeppelin, like Pink Floyd.
Oh yeah. There's another one. Love Pink Floyd.
ELO.
Yeah.
I just saw Jeff Lynne's ELO a couple of years ago when they were touring here in Washington State, and I was just taken aback by how good the music is.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, you know, I loved what Jeff Lynne did with Tom Petty as well. Mm-hmm. I loved that. Absolutely, because I'm a big Tom Petty fan as well. So I really enjoyed what Jeff did. But ELO, they did some incredible shows as well that took the audience on a ride, you know. I mean, fantastic. Yeah.
Definitely agree with that.
All right, so we're kind of running out of time. The thing I wanted to ask is best place where we can, you know, listen to the album and stuff and go. Where can we go, Deborah?
Well, there's our website, which is deborahbonham.com. It will be for sale on all the usual platforms. You know, it's coming out on Quarto Valley Records, so their website will say where it can be bought. And I just hope everybody plays it and people hear it and enjoy it, and we get to come over there because that's what we want to do. We want to come and play live. So it will be deborahbonham.com, and Facebook is Deborah Bonham, and Twitter as well.
All right, and Juan, you can find information on you where?
Yes, you can go to pictureperfectpodcasts.com. I have 2 different podcasts. You can go there and find out about each of those. We'll be featuring this interview on the 80s Hour. It's a pleasure to talk to you, Deborah, and to learn more about you. And
thank you. Thank you very much.
You have an amazing voice.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
Sharing it.
And it's definitely the information you're able to bring. It's great as well to learn some of the things of the artist, and that's also talk to Led Zeppelin. So we appreciate you coming by, and best of luck, okay?
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me.
You're welcome.
Both of you.
You're welcome. You're listening and watching The Neil Haley Show. We'll be back in just a moment.
So Nick, did we forget anything?
You know, I think we're missing one cable. You know what I mean?
No.
Can I help you guys?
What the?
Where are we going, fellas?
What the? Hey guys, what's going on?
So come to BPTV, where we have everything you need to make great TV shows, including the cables.
My friends, our frisbee skills are quite impressive.
They're almost as impressive as our TV production skills that we honed at BPTV.
Yes, without BPTV, we could never achieve such promotional prowess.
So volunteer at BPTV and you too can become a TV production master.
Here to the Neil Haley Show, and guys, as I told you before, two of you were on last time. The Rock wore my knee pads when I was a professional wrestler, so I'm just going to go right in. So I'm excited to welcome by. And so The Rock, I'm seeing triple right now, guys, and you're excited about season 2. So I'm going to go with the oldest first.
Yeah, I mean, it's really exciting. I think fans are going to looking forward to it, and will be really, really excited to see, that whole section of Dwayne's life coming out of football and into the wrestling era. So it's a long journey. It's a really exciting journey that he goes through. So yeah, we can't wait to share it.
Yeah, when the end of the season happened, where you're seeing specifically he's stuck in Canada in the freezing cold when he's used to being in Miami, that was a rude awakening for sure for him. Absolutely. And so let's get to go with Bradley. Bradley, really quickly, I guess, 30-second soundbite about season 2.
Yeah. Season 2, bigger, more complex, more fun, a whole lot of love, a whole lot of heart, and people have no idea what to expect. It's about to be awesome. So tune in, have a blast. Yeah.
Absolutely. I had a blast watching the season of all you guys. I really lived through it because I love watching my career in wrestling in the minor league level and living those kind of same things. And it was so much fun. And when we talk about Adrian, talking about your season 2 for you, I guess getting in the ring, and that's the teaser, right? Getting in the ring, it's got to be awesome.
Yeah, I can't wait for everybody to watch that, and I can't wait to see it myself. It's gonna be just an amazing thing to see. It was so awesome to do. I had so much fun. It's like one of the most fun things I've ever done in my life.
All right. So I appreciate it, guys. It's such a quick interview. Young Rock, Tuesday nights on NBC. I will be tuning in, and I appreciate you guys coming by.
Thank you, man.
Thank you.